My mangas aren't about dragon shagging. Night of Slaughter has no romance in it whatsoever. And this is as raunchy as Deep Stalker Crow gets. Get out of here with this. But I did make some progress on the mating manual. It's official that Blitz dragons in certain dragon havens do participate in group hugging. But there's a very big biological reason as to why this happens. So did you know typically within the dragon havens, whenever it comes to romance or physical connection, Blitz dragons typically do not hug. And that's because in Mount Moltra and Castella, Igni has not passed a divine law, unlike the goddess of the void in Bayshire, that requires all Blitz dragons to be sterilized at birth. And that's because in Bayshire, you do not have the right to have children. In fact, if you want to have a child, you need to actually apply and get approval from the government to do so. But why do Blitz dragons specifically get sterilized and later magically healed when they get approved to have a child? Well, let's talk about the biological reason and then we'll go over the historical reason. Biologically, Blitz dragons have a space on their stomach called the volopad and it hides underneath the skin. If you look directly behind the volopad, you'll see two uteruses on a tourney. Literally all a tourney is if this is uterus A, then whenever this one's impregnated, then it literally turns and allows the other uterus to get pregnant. But how this happens is when a volopad comes in contact with another and has some kind of friction, then there's a chance that DNA will actually get transmitted and could potentially fertilize an egg. So even if you went to go hug your friend, if your stomach's touched and rubbed, then there's a chance that you both could end up pregnant. And as we learned in the foreplay section of Eratus, that there was actually a new direction, which is a law within Bayshire, in the Book of Solara, Appendix DMMD Oracle. And DMMD stands for Divine Magical Medical Doctor. This sterilization law was put into place after an incident where a group of young Blitz dragons got together and then ended up accidentally becoming pregnant. And the 16 of these young individuals ended up taking a final horizon flight because they would rather take their chance at trying to fly the 559 miles across to the mainland in one go than have to have their pregnancy terminated or the city throw it over the edge. Because in Bayshire, if you have an unauthorized child and it makes it to term, then they will literally drop it off the edge of the city into the abyss, aka the void, and it's a painless death. And so after this tragedy, Blitz dragons actually put a prayer of betterment, which is a request to the church to enact a new law. And this was to make sure that this kind of pain was never felt again, and thus Cypher enabled the gifted womb doctrine. But the cool thing is, since Blitz dragons in Bayshire don't have to worry about getting pregnant, out of the over 4,000 participants that were observed during the lovemaking, 69% of them engaged